All right. So on the front of your booklet, you will notice that this is kind of two topics, place value and primes and factors and multiples, all those sorts of things we're going to do in this first part of this chapter. All right. So I want you to turn to this chart right here. Okay. So now you will notice that this chart has two pieces to it. Okay. That maybe the right, there's the decimal right there. This right hand side, we're going to ignore for the moment. Okay. I'm going to not deal with the decimals today. We're going to deal with the units that are to the left of it, which are all the numbers that you've been working on since kindergarten, right? When you come to kindergarten, we start you out with the ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? And then we move into 10. And as we go up in the grades, the numbers get bigger and bigger. So by the time you hit grade 1, 2, 3, you're working in the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, right? Those are the ones that are easy to represent. They have the little blocks, right? There's the little 1 cubes. There's the little 10 sticks. There's the 100 squares that look like this, right? They have little, those sorts of things. Then once we get to the thousands, I think there's the 1,000 blocks. They look like a giant cube, right? But then after that, it's hard to get more. You'd have to put 10 of those thousands together to make one giant cube. And then the next one after that would be 1,000 of them into one giant big cube, right? It's hard to visualize that. So I think up until last year, you would have gone to about the millions. Okay, grade 5, I think, is where they stop at around millions, maybe 1 million. I can't remember. I haven't taught grade 5 in a long time. But grade 6 is the last year that you do place value this direction. All right? Yep. Okay. Place value to this direction. All right? So this chart has the basic units, which is 1, tens, hundreds. And then they show the thousands. They show the millions. And we're very aware of millions. That's usually like the lottery. You can win millions of dollars, right? And then there's a few people in the world, well, probably more than a few people now, few things that work into the billions, right? Companies work in billions. Apple's products, right? Their profit for the last semester, like their last quarter or so, was in the billions. Okay, countries work on billions. Their budgets for the entire country are in the billions. All right? And then there is past the billions. They're not in this chart, but you can write them in for me, right? It goes into trillions. Once you get 1,000 billions, right? 999 billion, and you round it up to 1,000 billions, 1,000 billions is called a trillion. Okay? And there are, this would be,
Amazon.
yeah, well, I don't know, they're still in billions. This would be like United States' budget. It'd be in the trillions. Like this is serious amount of money because you're looking at 1 trillion having, look at how many zeros you've got. You've got 12 zeros behind it. That's a trillion. Okay? And so we're going to go to, we'll stop at a trillion. All right? But there's, I think it's
10 trillion.
Zillions?
10 trillion.
10 trillion? Yes, but 10 trillion would be right here, 10 trillion. Or 10, yeah, 1,000 trillions, sorry, 10,000 trillions. And then 100,000 trillions. But then once you roll over 999,000 trillions, I think it's a zillion. There's somewhere, right? Let me just quickly, what's after a trillion? Let's see what we got.
I always have like millions of dollars in like debt. Depth? But like, so what?
Yes.
Depth?
All right,
Yeah.
so we have a million, and then it goes a billion. So we have that in our chart. Then it goes trillion, and then it's a quadrillion,
Yeah.
and then a quintillion, a sextillion, a septillion, octillion. So where those numbers are coming from is like quad means 4, right? Quint means 5, sextillion is 7, septillion is 8, octillion, non-trillion, dectrillion, and then it all goes up, oh my goodness, after that like crazy. So trillion is pretty much where we need to go to, because then it goes to quadrillion after that. Okay, quadrillion, where you'd have what, 12, 13, 14, 15 zeros.
I've had all that money in cookie clickers.
Right.
I've been like
Now, the thing that you hopefully have recognized over your last 6 years of being in math is that there is a pattern to these numbers. You will notice that every one of them, if I erase these zeros, every one of these sets has 3 digits to it. Ones, tens, hundreds. Ones, tens, hundreds. Ones, tens, hundreds. 1, tens, hundreds. Right? That every single number out there is consisting of these 3 numbers. A set of 3 numbers, a set of 3 numbers, a set of 3 numbers. Now, is there anyone in here who cannot read a set of 3 numbers? If I wrote this number, 3, 7, 5, right? Everybody in this classroom could read that number as 375.
3,750.
Right? No, don't do that to me. 375, right? If you can read a 3-digit number, then the rest of this is super easy. Because all you have to remember is the place values, the order of the place values. The first one is the units. So that would be the 375. If I wrote 375 and I put 1,000 behind it, it knows that it's in this block. If I put 1,000,000 behind it, it moves it over into that block. If I put 1,000,000,000 behind it, it moves it over into this block. That's all it does. There's these key words right here that tell me how big my number is. If I just say 375, that's all I get, 375. Now, if I tell you 375 million, you are way more happy, right? Because you know that 375 million has to have 6 zeros behind it, because I need to put it in the million spot. So this is how I do numbers. This is how I teach numbers over the years. All right? So if I have, let's say, I'm going to write it in words, 405,062,000. Okay? 405,062,000. Now, first off, you will notice that I have no ands in there. I will never write an and. Because an and, if I just erase it, what does an and mean? A decimal, right? So we're not working with decimals. So we cannot go 405 million and 62. Okay? Or 405 million and 62. Because all I did was insert a couple decimals in there. And do we have numbers that look like that? No, I can't have more than one decimal in it, right? Not right now. All right. So 400. Now, when we go to these, I want you to go and underline the units. So underlining thousands, millions, billions, and trillions. What that's going to do is it's going to block your number into those 3 digits. Okay? And it's going to tell you, okay, or you can just circle them if you'd like. Yep. Let's put, just write the trillion in. Okay? Just write him down on the side. Is there a place to put trillion? You may have to write him this way. Yep, you can. If you can't fit them in that way, just put trillion on the side like that. Okay? Units, we don't really say units. That would be like me saying 375 units. We don't say 7 units. Right? We just say 7. So this unit 1, we don't actually say it, but that's where it is. It's that original 3-digit number that you learned back in grade 2 and 3. All right? So now, let's look at this number. You don't have to write this one down because I've got some more examples that are later on. Do I have one of those key, or maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, depending, there's 4 key words. Do I have any key words in that number?
Yep.
Yeah. Do we agree there? Do I have? Yeah, I have one right here. I'm going to underline him. 100 is not one of them. Million is one of them. Right? So, that tells me that million, I've got this unit, I've got that unit. It is the third set, right? This is my first set. This is my second set. This is my third, my fourth, and my fifth set of 3-digit numbers. So this tells me that I'm into the third set of 3-digit numbers. 1, 2, 3. And I will go through the next part.